Roughly 3 million people are meditating right now across the globe. One thing they're all concerned with is cultivating presence. But this is actually impossible, and it's based on a fundamental misconception. You can't make yourself present. You already and always are present, even when you're thinking about the past or future. Trying to make yourself present is like trying to make water wet. What we call being in the past and being in the future is really just a kind of chronic, impulsive visualization. But this visualization itself can only occur in the present. We just got so good at it that it seems real, especially when we experience vivid feelings associated with what we see. I used to get a severe sinking feeling in my chest when I remembered my awkward teenage fumbles with girls. I used to get heart palpitations, anticipating a musical performance I hadn't rehearsed enough. Nonetheless, all pasting and futuring occurs in the present. When else could it occur? Really? What we really mean when we say be present is stop running the mental emotional processes that make up these visualizations that we call past and future. And this is a subtractive process. Presence is your default mode. The more of these mental emotional processes you stop, the more you see this for yourself. This is why trying to make yourself more present can never work. That would be additive. And besides, it's not really any of your business that you, who's trying to make yourself more present, itself depends upon the past. Without your history, what's left of you? Without your future, what's left of the path of enlightenment? Where is the practitioner who struggled and strived to reach this point? Where is the practitioner who will continue struggling and striving to go further? This you vanishes when the mental, emotional processes of past and future vanish. Good news. All mental, emotional processes vanish naturally. They come and go like traffic. Is this not how it's been with every thought you've ever thought, every feeling you've ever felt? Sure, a very similar thought or feeling may arise in the next moment, just like another ambulance may come up the road. But they're never exactly the same. And this isn't even special. Typically, most people experience a suspension of the past and future whenever they watch TV. The problem is, of course, they're just replacing their story with someone else's. Here, we're talking about being free of all stories, all imaginary narratives. all you must do to finally realize the presence you've been trying to cultivate for so long is recognize clearly what I'm pointing at here. Like my student Paul did, after 50 years of trying every practice under the sun. Like my student Mark did, after spending hundreds of hours trying to progress through the stages in the book, The Mind Illuminated. Like my student Adam did, after he finally gave up the cultural obligations he'd been forcing on himself his whole life. These sincere practitioners who are just like you all realized that presence is not something that can be cultivated, is not something that can be developed or practiced, but is actually an inherent quality of your nature. I'm going to help you glimpse what they saw in just a minute, but first of all, I want to talk to you about direct experience. You may have heard many teachers talk about direct experience. It was years before I really understood what this meant, and it is crucial to this realization that presence is our default mode. I was a musician for 25 years, and there was a overlap of some years, 2, 3, 4 years, 3 years, maybe 3.5, prior to COVID-19, where I was deep in my Dharma practice, but continuing my work as a musician. One particular performance was an Oasis tribute gig. Now, Oasis is a British band who's just had a reunion, so you've maybe seen them on social media recently. So I'm playing all of these tunes, and Oasis was never a favorite of mine. I found the music quite boring. So I'm there meditating my way through the first set. Played, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 tunes, and then went outside to sit in my van in the car park. And very suddenly, for no good reason at all, the thought occurred to me, I have no way of knowing that China exists right now. I have good evidence. We all have good reason to believe that China is where it was last time we looked, and that those 1 billion plus people are continuing their lives. But what I saw in my van in that moment was that I could not confirm that in my direct experience. I could have grabbed my phone and tuned into a live stream from someone in China. That would have confirmed it. But in my direct experience, there was no confirmation of the existence of China. This is not to say that we should all behave as if China doesn't exist or anywhere else. This was an insight into what was and was not present in my direct experience. And along with that thought came the appreciation of how simple what was actually occurring in my direct experience in that single moment really was. Not only did I not have to hold on to any notions of the existence of some foreign nation, but in the same way, I didn't have to hold on to any of my own history, any of the many conversations that I had ongoing with people at the time, nor anything that I was about to go and do tomorrow. The sense of simplicity was profound. I finally recognized what all the great teachers meant by that term, direct experience. What is going on right now and directly verifiable right now, absent of concepts, absent of assumptions, absent of stories. So this was very important to my understanding of presence. What I'd like to do with you right now is make this practical. We're going to run something of a guided pointing here together. So eyes open, eyes closed, as you prefer. I'm going to close mine. Consider with me right now how many times you've conjured up the past and conjured up the future just today. Even if you only just woke up and immediately turned on this video, you probably already thought about the past or the future at least once, even if that's just how much you want coffee. You may very well, as we speak about this, be engaging in that kind of visualization as I speak. Recognize that this is a mental process that is occurring right now. Recognize that any attendant feelings to that visualization are occurring right now. There may be a visual image in your mind's eye. There may be physical sensations to which we apply labels like anxiety or desire. Without the labels, this is just sensation occurring right now. Be with it as it is right now. Look at that mental image as though it were a piece of art hanging in a gallery. You don't have to like it, but just look at it in that way, as if it didn't belong to you, as if it were not created by you. Just a thing, just a sight. In this way, you loosen your grip on these sensations, on these visualizations, and in so doing, you are less inclined to create another image, another sensation, another story in response, and so tumble down the rabbit hole like so many of us do. By acknowledging that all of this is already occurring in the present, as opposed to trying to cultivate presence as some additional quality that you must develop, you go the direct route to the kind of insight that I had in my van that evening. So I encourage you to do this. Make this recognition, make this appreciation whenever the past or the future shows up for you, and see what happens. I'd love to hear about what happens in a comment. If this was in any way useful, if you felt even a 1% loosening of your grip on the past and future throughout this teaching, then this is a tremendous success. But it's only the beginning. If you want to go further down this particular rabbit hole, the rabbit hole of realizing presence as your true nature, then my recommendation is to take my 1-minute quiz. There's a link in the description. By answering 3 questions, you'll give me the opportunity to send you some personalized guidance based on what your experience is like right now. And following that, if appropriate, I'll offer at least one way to connect with me and have a deeper conversation about what your practice is like, about what your life is like, to see if there's some way I can help. We'll explore together and see what we can do. If you enjoyed today's teaching, like the video, subscribe to make sure you get more of them, and I'll see you back here very soon.